What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics. And today we have a top 10 list from our patron Fran, the top 10 hidden gems of 80s UK pop. So I'll tell you the details of that in a second. But before we get into that, you guys know the drill. Give it a thumbs up. It helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you'd like to be a patron like Fran and help out the channel, the patrons make this thing run, check out the link below. Also check out our Facebook group and our Twitch link below for our live streams. So what does this mean? What are hidden gems of 80s UK pop? Well, Fran wrote a nice little description, as he always does. He says, since the worldwide success of the British band from the 60s, an incredibly dynamic music industry was created in the UK, which produces an amazing number of bands considering its population. UK audiences are always open to new bands. Groups like Kasabian, Arctic Monkeys, or Suede held massive concerts even before releasing their first record. British music press has always been as eager to promote the next big thing as likely to forget about many of them soon after. And names have been constantly coming up. Some have remained and others have somehow got lost in time. This list aims to shed some light on a few of those UK artists and songs from the 80s that seem to be nowadays overlooked. All of them had a certain amount of success in the 80s, but time is often cruel. Boy, isn't that the truth, Fran? Trying to be objective as possible to determine how, quote, hidden an artist is by only selecting songs from artists whose numbers of listens in Spotify are below 1 million. The gem part, well, I'm afraid that does remain subjective, but that's what we like about music, right? It wouldn't be fun if it could be condensed into a mathematical formula. That's exactly right, friend. That's why I never run down what anybody likes musical-wise. If it makes you happy, if you enjoy it, if you vibe with it and connect to it, hey man, more power to you. That is the power of music. And before we get started, I'm going to say that one of the biggest discoveries we made on this channel in the last year, Trey and I, is the UK music scene, just how good it was back in the day. I mean, you know the British invasion stuff, but just how consistent and good it was throughout the 80s and 90s as well. So I'm looking forward to this list. As I look through it, I mean, I've already researched it, but I'm trying to remember here. I'm trying to remember if I've even heard. I've only heard of one of these artists, and that's because they appeared on a previous top 10 that one of our patrons, Peter, did. So let's jump into this thing. I do have some research on all of these things, and weren't the easiest thing to find research on, as you would well imagine, because they're, you know, hidden gems. So number 10, Why Does the Rain by the Weather Prophets. So nice little play on words there. Fran said, formed in London in 1986, the band split up after only 2 studio albums, with singer Peter Astor going on to a solo career. This is from their debut in 87, Mayflower, which was produced by Lenny Kaye from the Patti Smith Band. I love the clean production where all instruments can be clearly recognized. The song has an American sound with influences from the Byrds and Big Star. The melodic bass, the jangle guitar, the sweet lazy lead vocals, and the gentle backing vocals all blend together to produce a beautiful song. Fran always has such great write-ups. And lastly, before I forget, the music will not be in the video. There'll be a link below where if you want to follow along and listen to the songs with me, you can do that. If you just want to see what I think, just stay right here because I'll be right back. I'll also have the lyrics pulled up and follow along. All right, let's get after it. Why Does the Rain by the Weather Prophets? Fran's write-up was fantastic because you absolutely can hear every instrument in such a crisp way. You don't hear it very much that often where you can hear everything separated out. Nice vocal, really good sound. I don't have the lyrics pulled up for this one. This is the first song that I can remember where I couldn't find any lyrics anywhere. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. I looked everywhere I could think of in every form or fashion and couldn't find them. I mean, I was following along. I think basically Why Does the Rain is kind of self-explanatory. You know, sometimes things aren't going great and why does the rain fall on me? So I think kind of just talking about the rain's following him all the way around and, you know, things aren't always going well. But could be a little off on that. I kind of got lost in the instrumentation a little bit and just the melodic sound of it all. But man, an excellent tune. Excellent tune. And that's going to move us to number 9, Every Conversation by the June Brides. What a great name. Fran says this indie pop group formed in London was briefly the darling of the UK music press, but were only able to release one LP in 1985 before dissolving. This song is from their solo LP and follows the first law of pop. Quote, a song with na-na-nas has always a catchy melody. You got that right. If you put some irresistible horns on top, you end up with this uplifting, impossible not to sing along song to tune. I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to warn you right now, you better hope it's possible to not sing along. Run everybody off of here, man. Every Conversation by the June Brides. The June Brides, every conversation, it's about what you would think. It's about conversations, right? It starts out, a funny thing happens when I think of wrong and right. I go round in circles as I go to sleep at night, and all the stupid tales we tell, they never go nowhere. I sometimes think all we dream are castles in the air, and then and every conversation is the same. Pull out the well-worn cliches, expound on things inane. What I'd rather hear is you call my name. So, and then he goes on, pardon my ignorance, the more that you tell me, the less clear it is to me. What seemed at first simple is now confused. Words are mute victims, so easily abused. So I think he's tired of these pointless conversations. He goes into another part. Whatever you say, we can turn it around, we'll turn it upside down. Whatever you say, we can turn it around, turn it upside down. So the way every conversation just kind of seems, after a while, pointless is sort of what he's getting into here, I think. And we just kind of talk a lot, but a lot of times we don't say anything. And I think the turning around is so appropriate for us here in 2021, as anything can be taken out of context and flipped around and put on social media. And then all of a sudden you got a whole movement coming against somebody or something. So that one was a fun one. I enjoyed that one. I did sing along a little bit to the na-na-nas. Hopefully you couldn't hear it over the music, because if you could, you're still here. So you probably couldn't. So that's going to move us on to number 8. Go Away by Strawberry Switchblade. And here's what Fran tells us. And I couldn't find, I researched everything, but none of the research was better than what Fran could tell us here. So I think almost everything here is from Fran on this. From their self-titled and only record released in 1985. I think that last album was only from, it was, The June Brides was only from 1985 on one album. The Scottish duo of Rose McDowall and Jill Bryson received some attention during the mid-80s with their polka dot dresses, hair ribbons, and a handful of dance pop singles that made a brief splash on the UK charts. Some of their production now sounds a bit dated, but this song, which is not among their singles, still sounds fantastic and brings to mind dream pop bands from the 2000s like Beach House. McDowall and Bryson have pretty voices which combine wonderfully together and are nicely escorted by a deep bass and a haunting keyboard motive. I love the abrupt ending, which briefly matches the brilliantly matches the teen love tinted lyrics. Because teenage feelings are like this song, dramatically intense, yes, until they disappear out of a sudden as if they never existed before. Boy, I guess we all lived that out, didn't we, Fran? All right, Go Away, Strawberry Switchblade. What a great name. We got some good names on this list. Go Away, Strawberry Switchblade. Just a dreamy vocal presentation, right? I don't know that it was treated. It probably had a little bit of treatment on the vocals, but just sounded really cool. And I really enjoyed the chorus because they're just going in, go away. I wish you would go away. I wish you would go away. I wish you would go. And then the chorus, as it finishes, repeats it even more. But she starts out saying, you know why I don't see you. Remember when we went to the bay, you had your car, so we thought we'd go since it was such a nice day. I remember walking with you to the rocks, not knowing what you had in mind. I closed my eyes to make a wish, but opened them up to find you'd slipped away, and I wondered where, thinking you'd return. I thought I would stay, but after a while you hadn't returned. Then it didn't seem such a nice day. Wow, my man, if you're going to dump the girl, don't take her out somewhere and literally leave her there. And so, that kind of sets up the song. You've come to ask me how I am, but I don't want to see you today. You said it was fun, but I cannot smile. I just wish you would go away. So hard and fast. Dude, go away, man. You did this girl wrong. You need to go away. That one was a good one. Really good one. That's going to already take us to number 7. It is a quick list. We have Happy Head by the Mighty Lemon Drops. Fran said they formed in Wolverhampton, England in 85. Boy, 85 was a big year for all these. The Mighty Lemon Drops were a psychedelic-influenced post-punk band with a guitar-based pop sound that drew comparisons to Echo and the Bunnymen. They released 5 albums before breaking up in 1992. This song was included in the influential C86 cassette, a compilation released by NME in 1986, featuring new bands licensed from British independent record labels. It is not the Mighty Lemon Drop's most famous track. That would be Inside Out. But I always like the power of Happy Head. The standout are the furious drums and the percussive bass that drive the song. A great tune to play and listen to live. Happy Head by the Mighty Lemon Drops, a short song at 2:25, but an absolute quick-paced. Fran already hit the nail on the head. He said it better than I could. The standouts of the furious drums and the percussive bass that drive the song. Absolutely. Absolutely. What a fun song. And those drums really do drive this thing the entire way. Basically, he's just talking about what's going on in his head. You know, his happy head. It's real simple lyrically, but pretty good. Do you know what happens inside my happy head? There's nothing I can say that hasn't already been said. Sometimes I'm up so high. Sometimes I'm down. Join the club, right? I think we're all that way. I can't remember having my feet on level ground. And then that chorus that repeats several times. Think I'm going up again. Hear the angels fall. Think I'm going up again. Catch me when I fall. And at the very end, I've got a happy head. Just like the angel said, I've got a happy head. Just like the angel said, happy head. Hey man, the guy's happy. He goes through up and down. Mainly, he's happy. I'm happy because I heard that song because I love those drums. What a fantastic, catchy little tune. That's going to bring us up to number 6, Big Decision by that Petrol Emotion. Friends said they formed from the ashes of the also brilliant The Undertones. This band from Northern Ireland tackled social, political, and environmental issues wrapped in a diversified music that mixed pop hooks with punk influences and dance music. They released 5 interesting albums between 86 and 94. This song is from their best record, Babbles, issued in 1987. I love the infectious guitar riff and the groovy rhythm, while the band calls for action for a fair world. Well, I'll tell you what, that might have been 1987, but in 2021, we could use that as well. Also, a pretty short track at 2:42. That nice 80s long fade out that we always get in these. Big Decision by that Petrol Emotion. Nice song, a lot of diversity in this. The chorus was really catchy. You'd rather sail the ocean than make a big decision. But he talks about economies getting weaker, reactionary stronger. I won't function anymore. Plastic bullets shoot headlines in store. Businessmen get richer, individuals stronger. Bells won't ring when scum boot down the door. And then he gets into this, he hits that chorus and he gets into this little breakdown, right? What you got to do in this day and age, you got to agitate, educate, organize. Take the time to live, take the time to give. You got to agitate, educate, organize. So you got to get involved in this world, man. There's a lot of bad things going on. You can't sit on the sidelines and watch it all. Just a really good, and he breaks it down at the end that way in the little fade out, same thing. But the chorus is what, and sonically, it's just so pleasing and sticks in the head. So now, I got a question for you guys that are following along at home. We're already up to number 5. We're already in the top 5. And I got a question. Who snatched the baby? I don't know. Do you know? I'll tell you who does know. The Band of Holy Joy. What a name. I said this before. We got some names on this list. Fran said a London band formed in 1984 with a quite unique folk punk sound due to the instruments used. No guitar, trombone, accordion, violin, and no guitar, and then trombone, accordion, violin, and piano. And the frantic vocals of frontman Johnny Brown. They sound theatrical, poetic, beautifully bizarre, like a drunk Salvation Army ensemble. I'll tell you, Fran's got away with words. I need to start having him write up all of our research and descriptions. I was recommended the album where this song is included, More Tales from the City, by the owner of a record shop seeing the albums I had picked. It's my favorite work by the Band of Holy Joy, and I've cherished it in my record collection ever since. Well, those were the days where there were tons of record stores, right? And there were recommendations and they got to know you. And yeah, I miss those days. So let's get into this one. Who Snatched the Baby by the Band of Holy Joy. Who Snatched the Baby? The Band of Holy Joy. That's an appropriate name for this band, as Fran noted at the start. Quite unique folk punk sound. Do the instruments used? Yeah. And he said what I thought was great, like a drunk Salvation Army ensemble. That is stuck in my head during this whole thing. It was great. It was so much fun. It was everywhere, man, and I loved it. The lyrics, that's the thing with these hidden gems. It's 2 songs I haven't been able to find the lyrics for them. I was following along as I was listening, but it's hard to take it all in on first listen. It's always nice to have the lyrics in front of you so you can kind of track it, but I think he's just kind of talking about the state of the world and he doesn't have a lot of hope for it, and who snatched their baby, didn't have a lot of hope for their baby, but I could be totally off on that. But for me, it was the sonic experience. It just puts a smile on your face. Just a nice choice there. Now we're moving from the Band of Holy Joy to the Railway Children in their song Brighter. And Fran says they were formed in, I always hope I say this right, Wigan, England. In 1984, the Railway Children toured with REM and Sugar Cubes and had some minor hits. The biggest one was With Every Beat of the Heart, which peaked at 24 in the UK. My favorite record is their first reunion, Wilderness. Less polished than their following efforts. From this album, my preferred song is Brighter, this one. Features a fantastic melodic bass, a very original percussion in addition to the drums, a jangly guitar which evokes the Smiths, and a romantic vocal melody. It's been a regular in my playlist since I discovered it in the early 90s. Brighter by the Railway Children. I did have the lyrics up for this one, and that didn't really do me much good. I'm not really sure what this is about. The chorus is where it's at. It's just very pleasant on the ears. But what matters, what really doesn't matter. We're caught in this hit and run. It all becomes so vague. So I guess he's just telling you about the frailty or almost meaningless parts of life where we think things matter. They really don't matter. We kind of have our priorities messed up. I'm going to go a little bit with that, but it's very pleasant on the ears. Sonically, just really nice. I wanted that chorus to come in one last time. If you're watching the reaction, as you heard, great production, great instrumentation. Would bet that this is a pretty good bet to be in my top 3. Next up, we are going to go to Good Thing by the Woodentops. Fran said they're formed in the early 80s in Northampton, England. Their initial singles and first studio album, Giant, released in 86, achieved significant critical success in the US, including a radiant review from Morrissey in Melody Maker. There you go. You get Morrissey to sign off. You're doing pretty well. Giant is a true gem with an intricate and imaginative production and filled with excellent songs. Its acoustic pop has touches of different genres like white funk, Latin music, or rockabilly. That's quite the array of things. The instrumentation is rich and unusual, featuring marimba, accordion, trumpets, and strings. The album reached 35 on the UK Albums Chart, and Good Thing reached number 7 on the UK Indie Chart. If you haven't listened to it and like this song, go listen to it. All right, Fran, I got you. The standout of Good Thing is the clear and warm production. The song is masterfully crafted with continuous rhythm changes and different hooks showing up every now and then to always keep the interest of the listener. A real pleasure for the ears. Many of these has been. Another great write-up for Fran. Let's go. Good Thing, the Woodentops. Fran was 100% correct. Not that I doubted you, Fran. The different rhythm changes and hooks changing up in just this little short song, it's under 4 minutes, was really, really nice. The lyrics, he's just telling her she's a good thing for him, right? It starts out, now that we're here, let's open that wine. I could talk to you anytime. You've always been at the back of my mind. You're such a good thing. Thanks for that card that you sent. I hung it on my wall. I always read those letters. Yes, I do. Even if I read them before again and again, you're such a good thing. Sometimes you try harder for me than I try for myself. So that girl must really believe in him, right? And then we just get the now, good thing. And then confidence to get me under the spell of your smile. Now you see me carefree in your warm, sophisticated style. And then just a bunch of runs of you're such a good thing, now, good thing, feeling. Just a really pleasant song. Enjoyed that one a lot. Instrumentation is really top-notch. Production's top-notch, but I think Fran has a style that he likes, kind of the same style I like, and the production's really tight on almost every one of these tracks, even though they are hidden gems. And you don't always see that production value in bands that aren't maybe as well known. Record companies don't pour as much money in them, but these are standouts for that reason alone. And now we're up to number 2. The only artist I was familiar with on this list going in, I just heard one of their songs because it popped up on another top 10 that we had done. We got What For by James. And Fran says rules can be broken when there's a good reason. This is true. And this is a good one. James is a band with considerably more than 1 million listeners on Spotify. However, their first records remain quite obscure and criminally underrated, so I've included a song from that, quote, hidden part of their career. Stutter, Strip Mine, and the live album One Man Clapping are hidden gems of folky and jangly pop, which served to label them as the next Smiths and raised praises by Morrissey. Second one in a row, we got some praise from Morrissey. The best of the 3 is Strip Mine, and the opening track, What For, this one, is an absolute wonder, which applies the second law of pop. A song you can whistle to along has always a catchy melody. I like that. The breezy melody is like a sun ray that lifts your spirit with optimism. Hey man, I can use that right now, and so can the rest of us, friend. The uplifting message only enhances the feeling. I can't help but end up with a stupid smile on my face every time I listen to it. Uh-oh, now I better just be stone cold, man. I'm worried about that stupid smile. I'll take it, man. We can all smile a little bit more in this world today. We got number 2, What For by James. What For by James. Just a fantastic song. It does put a smile on your face. Maybe it's a stupid smile. I don't know. First off, the drumming was top notch and stand out. Nice guitar work. But it just has that good feel about it. Just the atmosphere of it. He says, today I won't think of any sad things. Will not think of torture, which, I try not to think of, or the rape of nature. Just today, I won't touch those sickening papers. Will just let myself get swept away by this beautiful day. So he's still making a statement. Look at all this stuff going on in this world that's not right. And then you just get that chorus that sticks in here. What for? Tell me, oh, what for? The sunset tonight is beyond all words in the sky above the square. The starling spiral dancing on air. In other words, enjoy those good things in life. And don't get so caught up in everything going on, which I'll tell you what, this says it was released in 1988. In 2021, we could all get some more doses of this, especially here in the States. Today, we'll dive into foaming seas, sick fish, myself, and some strange debris. And this is way worse now in today's seas than it was back in 88. So he's making a statement, yet he said, I would prefer to be anywhere away from here. And then that great chorus again, talks a little bit about the birds. I'm in the square, I am sun, I am sky. Wow, my top 3 is going to be tough because this one is definitely in contention. And now we're up to number 1, Proud to Fall by Ian McCulloch. Fran says the singer and frontman of Echo and the Bunnymen can hardly be considered forgotten. Their 80s albums are still counted among the best music released during the decade. They have continued touring after some hiatuses and releasing interesting albums until today. However, Ian's solo career has not resisted so well the test of time. Even his first solo album, Candleland, released in '89, which was well received, peaking at 18 on the UK album charts, and its single, this one, Proud to Fall, charting number 1 for 4 weeks on the modern rock charts. Candleland is his best solo effort, but the other 3 records released are also worthwhile checking out. Deeply impacted by the recent deaths of the singer's father, as well as Bunnymen's drummer Pete DeFreitas, Candleland's collection of songs is diverse, with moods going from reflective and melancholic to triumphant and ironic. The expressive and warm voice of McCulloch shines in Proud to Fall, getting the best from the beautiful melody. I also love the production with Boris Williams from The Cure's drums high in the mix, lifting the song up and captivating whirlwind effect. I've said it several times, Fran's descriptions are just fantastic. Lyrically, my reading is that Ian is entering into a dialogue with himself where he criticizes his contradictions, his behavior as a rock star, and his lack of determination to overcome his flaws. In my view, one of the best songs of the 80s. That is high praise because Fran knows his stuff. Let's check out number 1, Proud to Fall, Ian McCulloch. Proud to Fall, Ian McCulloch. Fran, as usual, you got this one right. This was my favorite track on here. Everything worked for me. The lyricism, the atmosphere, as you talked about, the drumming was fantastic. I think your take on this song is right. I think he's talking to himself. Here you come again, acting like a savior. There you go again, talking like a stranger. The pre-chorus, you said we must all learn to face what we're becoming. And then I saw you in the distance, off and running. The chorus, it just sticks in the head. But from start to finish, I was proud to fall, and I fell deep within it. I got lost inside it all. See, am I getting lost inside that fame and, what comes with all of that? It's verse 2. Looks like rain again. Feels like it's rain forever. Many of us have been in that points in our lives. Can't remember when, don't remember whether I ever really told you who I was. It must have been because you start to lose yourself, right, with fame or accolades. That can happen rather quickly. And he's got some other stuff in here, and he might be talking to a love interest in here a little bit as well. But man, what a fantastic tune, and what a great list. Really enjoyed that one. Now we're up to the point where I pick my top 3. That's going to be difficult for me. Obviously, the last track, Proud to Fall, that's easy, Ian McCulloch. Usually I take notes and kind of decide early on what my favorites are, but there was no song on here that I didn't enjoy. Let's go with Good Thing by the Woodentops. I thought that was a lot of fun. I'm going to be man, I'm just going to be stereotyping. I'm going to go the top three again. I'm going to go What For by James, but I really enjoyed all of these. I thought this was a fantastic list, a unique list, intelligently put together as always by Fran. It's all his write-ups. I did research, but his write-ups were better than any of the research. So Fran was the real MVP of this one. I really appreciate it, Fran. Really appreciate everybody joining me. If you've got some other hidden gems, and I know you guys in the UK do, from the 80s, put those in the description below or in the comments below. I'm sure a lot of people would like to check them out, myself included, guys. So appreciate you joining me, and until next time, I will see you.